This is Ursula, who's a Polish singer. She was married to a violinist called Michael Urbaniak, and this is a oh, there you go, excuse me. I'm a really good DJ. I think that a lot of clubs these days, they've forgotten a little bit about the sort of art of sound. It's a little bit too much about being in a place because it's cool and not really having a culture where the DJ gets an amazing kind of, where everybody in the club, from the manager to the accounts manager to the bar staff to the people on the door, they're all into it. Sometimes, you know, it's just like, oh, there's something missing somewhere in the chain. So in a way, the best clubs are the clubs where it's a family. You know, the club is a family, and it's more than just a business. And that doesn't happen everywhere, but the best clubs in the world are usually run by people who are absolutely passionate about it. The worst clubs in the world are run by bankers.
I heard that your first encounters with radio were pirate radio stations in South London. Tell us a little bit about that period.
I became very obsessed also by this kind of secret world of pirate radio and these guys who came out and who played these incredible records, you know, Herbie Hancock. You know, you wouldn't hear that music in England. There was no music, you know, it was rock and roll and you know, the BBC old school. So there was one station called Radio Invicta, and I really wanted to do this pirate radio thing. So with my next door neighbour, we'd set up this setup in my garden shed that used to have the railway set, train set, and that became a pirate radio studio. We'd record it, and then my father would drive, maybe a 10-minute drive to the south of where we live, to a place called Epsom Downs, which is a high spot where they have the horse racing, and we basically connect the tape recorder with the tape in it to a transmitter. The transmitter would be connected to a car battery for power on one side, and on the other side it would be connected to an aerial, which we put up a tree. And then we just press play, and then we just wait. But what we did on the tape recorders, we'd literally leave a phone number. If you want to have a dedication, call this number. And the number was the phone box next to the pub. Now the funny thing is that the transmitter that I managed to buy was quite a good transmitter. And one day, Radio Invicta, the big station that I loved, they had their transmitter taken away by the government, and they'd run out of equipment. But they'd heard that there was this young boy who had a transmitter. So they contacted me through the guy who built the transmitter, and they said, "Can we have your transmitter?" And I said, "In one condition, that you give me a show on your station." So, so that was my first hustle, and that's how I got onto Radio Invicta. When I started DJing, you know, I wasn't expecting anybody to help me. I spent many years just sort of carrying my record boxes and my speakers and my, you know, and I used to force the sound on people, and then slowly I built up a bit of a following, and then you build your thing up, and then you become a valuable asset, and then people want you, and then they can pay you, and then you just have to build on that. That's how it runs, you know. There's no easy run these days, unless you are gifted like Stevie Wonder, and you can just basically do everything, and, you know, you don't have to do, you know, but then even someone like him has to work hard. Any artist has to work hard, you know, to become successful. I mean, I think it's very sad when some artists, they think that just having talent is good enough. You know, you have to work like any business, you know, you have to basically, you know, it is the music business, never forget that.